Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Daily Stock Market End of Day Update. You can see here Nasdaq 100. Yesterday, I was telling everybody, you can see the recording previously. We were here. I was telling everybody this is where you should be looking to take profits. And this is an ideal short area zone. We were here around third standard deviation. These are three lines: first standard deviation, second, and third. Whenever we are near third standard deviation, we are not able to hold. This is the way these indicators have worked. They are not able to hold. Price action cannot hold it. And now we ended up in the bottom line. So what that means, here we're gonna get a pump and we'll be here. So we are looking for a pump now. This morning in my private member group, we were here when I was posting. I told them, guys, this is a perfect time to short. At minimum, we were looking for this white line, neutral zone, or we could go even below there. That will be our buy zone. So this morning, even from morning trade at our neutral zone 0.74%, and to the buy zone it's around almost 1.56%. We took profits. And end of day update, I told everybody this is where you want to buy, and actually I'm telling everybody now in public that this is where we want to buy. You can see we came to third standard deviation buy zone, and whenever we go to buy zone, there we expect a massive pump, and that pump can take from here to at minimum the neutral line 1.62, and it can even go as high as 2.4% to 167. That's my target. Okay, and also guys, I'm trying to create a Discord server, so I created a free public Discord server. I'll be updating these zones once a day for free, and then if you guys want to join, I will be also creating a member only chat group. You can if you want to join, it's like $7 a month. You can also pay here on the description of this video. There's a chat channel to join. You will also get updates, pre-market and intra market. You can also do so the link is in the description. If you want to join, just click on it and then you can join free. Or if you want to get some more updates, one trade can make a subscription fee for the whole year. All right, so once that is done, we can see now, you can see how nicely, even if I go in the past, every time we are above third standard deviation, we're never able to hold. We come back to at least minimum neutral line, or we can come to the buy line. So you can see we came here to neutral line at minimum, then again came to sell off, and today we came to buy zone. Same thing with S&P 500. You can say same thing. We were here below above second standard deviation, not able to hold. Now we're in the buy zone. So this is where I'm expecting. I know Fed Chairman Powell is speaking. There's a Jackson Hole meeting there. I don't know what's going to happen, but these indicators are telling me that we're going to get a pump. And even on S&P 500, we're looking at minimum 4418, and it can even go to 4444, which is around 1.48% up. Yeah, these indicators work like magic, and tomorrow will be real test to see how this thing ends up. Okay, and also if I go to weekly chart and I want to hide this indicator, I want to add another indicator, three moving channel exponentials, and I want to show you what's happening on NDX. So you can see. Again, I want to remind everybody this is weekly chart of Nasdaq, and you can see we are now again, we will bottom here between red line and green line, and that line, those levels on triple Qs are between 339 and also around 359. Okay, so again, going back to NDX, let's quickly do that. And you can see, I want to remind everybody, this is where we will be bottoming. In a bull market, we always go between the green line and red line to gather energy. This was a bull market in 2020. Gather energy, we at minimum touch green line. A lot of times we even go to the red line. We gather energy, we bounce. Again, we gather energy, come in the zone, then bounce. Again, come back. So worst case is we are touching red line, and the best case is we touch green line and bounce. You can see here also. So along the lines here, let's look at the pullback. Okay, the first pullback, it was around 14%. The second pullback here from red line to this line was around 9.5%, let's say 10%. Third pullback here was around, let's say around 11-12%. You can see we get around, on average, let's try to make up, this was around 11%, and this pullback was around 8%. So like on average, I think we can estimate around minimum 10% pullback, and you can see what happened this time. And the pullback is from the top to bottom is around 8.5%. So yeah, so it's possible we can get a little bit more down, around 10%. So a 10% pullback from top will take us around 14 to 80. That's quite possible. So triple Qs, that level, let's say on an average, if I get a 10% pullback, this is going to be around let's say around 347, 348-ish. So this is what we are going to see. But my point is, I don't know if we will get more pullback or this is it, right? So this candle, this week is still one more day left. Yesterday's, tomorrow's day is one more left, and we'll see if we get a pullback again here. We close here, or this is it. If this is it, we're gonna get a massive pump, and then my short-term indicators are saying we are due for a massive pump. So we will only get this yellow line. I don't think we're gonna get this green line, but green line is the worst case. Yellow line is what I'm expecting. Okay. So again, now I got that off my shoulders. So now let's quickly look at long-term chart. Let's try to get some indicators here and see how we are doing. So these are the indicators. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of these. If I go to 1 hour chart, let me get rid of extended hours training, so you can see, and let me hide these EMA lines for a bit. You can see we were going on a bullish falling wedge. We broke down, false trap, broke out, okay, back tested it, another breakout, and then again now we're coming for a back test here. Okay, now you can see also what's happening on daily chart. You can see this trend line here, white line, support, and also we are coming back on a support. Okay, this is where, although this candle looks really bearish, but we are right on support, guys. So what we do on support, we buy on support. We don't sell on support, we sell on resistance. You can see my resistance was here, red line. If I go to daily chart, you can see I had it here. This resistance, it came close to it and then it sold off, but this could also be building a new uptrend. This could be a new higher low before we go high again. Okay, so don't be too bearish. The only reason I'm saying is my short-term indicators, which I showed you earlier, are in the buy zone near third standard deviation, and that's why we look to buy. So again, so we're looking for a back test of this breakout. This was back test here, another back test here. I don't see any divergences building on the 1 hour chart, so I don't have a good sense of where we're going, but so far this looks like a back test, and this is where the support is. You don't want to get short here, you want to short when we were in the red lines here. All right, so that's what's looking on triple Qs, which is Nasdaq, Tech Sector, SPY. Same thing here. You can see again the trend line is here. We could not even go there. Okay, there was a gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, let me show you, there was this slight gap here. We could not even close that. Okay, there's another gap here, so these gaps will be filled. So this gap, no matter how we go, we will eventually fill this gap. So just be mindful of that. From here to S&P 500, the top gap is around 4.44% away, and triple Qs, there are two gaps. There's one gap here, one gap above. So from here, from today's close, those two gaps are around 6.7% away. So no matter how we go, we're gonna close this gap. All right, so just be mindful of that. And again, there are two possible paths. This looks like a bearish candle. So is this yellow line already done here, or are we gonna go for a back test? I don't know. Let's see. If this yellow line is already done, we're gonna go all the way down to fill this gap before we go higher, or this might be it, and now we're heading higher from here. So this green line is like this now. So this is a higher low before we go higher. And in my opinion, this is a bull market. And in bull market, you buy the dip. I still think this is a buy the dip market. And also I want to show you something. We got a rejection on S&P 500. You can see we got rejected on this red line, which is 50 SMA line. Price action came here, it got rejected here. Even on triple Q, same thing happened. It tried to go above this red line, which is 50 SMA line, and it got rejected right there. Okay, so in theory, this looks like an engulfing bearish candle, but since my indicators are telling me some otherwise, I'm not going to be looking like a bearish bear right now. Okay, and VIX, you can see massive pump. This gap, purple line, is still not closed, so I'm looking for this to close before I get bearish. So I'm looking for a pump and then VIX to sell off and close this gap. You can see this gap here. This gap was created on 1st of August, and there was a gap up. Looking for this to close before we go higher. All right, so that's what I'm expecting on VIX. And let's quickly look at other. Let's go to other sectors. I'm trying to find Dow Jones. Here's Dow Jones, looking very bearish, and it does look like this yellow might be here, and they want to go and fill this gap now. So it's good and bad. The good thing is we're gonna now go try to fill this gap sooner than later, and so once that is done, we're heading higher. So it does look like uh, uh, this not going to follow green path. I think it wants to go fill this gap, and that gap as of now is very close, so we might as well fill it tomorrow. So that gap is only 0.69% away, so we might as well fill this gap. Maybe by Fed chairman is going to speak, I don't know when, but maybe in the morning it's going to fill this gap, and then we will get a pump. We'll see. IWM, this trend line, just holding here trend line. This is not an impulsive breakdown, so that's telling me this is a fake out move, and I think we're getting ready for this massive pump sooner than later. So don't be too bearish right now here. All right. Let's quickly look at gold. Gold, you can see a little bit of rejection. That's fine. You can see 1 hour chart what happened. Let me hide these EMA lines so that it's clear. You can see break perfectly how nicely it can. It's like a perfect teaching point here. You can see price is going lower 1 hour and momentum is going higher. RSI is going higher. We had a breakout back test. Now again going higher. And you can see we had divergences here. We had a new high with the lower low on PPO and RSI. So we got sell off, but this is a flag, and I think we're getting ready for another next level higher on gold. So I think we can come to the back test here. So that's quite possible. And also now there's also a little bit of resistance here. You can see this whole area. This whole area will now act as a resistance for gold. You can see this whole area. So it can still go higher before it gets rejected here, okay? So let's see how it goes. Silver by the dip. You can see very nicely on this support trend line, support here. It can come back. It can come back all the way down to touch this support. That's quite possible, or it's getting ready, so it's by the dip. Natural gas, you can see holding nicely. This is a trend line, and you can see natural gas is now again try to break this trend line, try to recover, and now just holding here. So it's not an impulsive breakdown. So I think it's natural gas will recover very soon. Crude oil bouncing now, so it's by the dip. You can see my arrows. It can still come back all the way to $74. That's possible. That's another support level, so just be mindful of that. But looks like crude oil wants to bounce from here. Good thing, actually good or bad, I think now dollar is now trying to go above, and then this is the other resistance area it's going in. You can see this whole confluence here, confluence here, confluence here. So this is where ideally I really would like dollar to sell off, and I will show you later on end of the update that this dollar is in the sell zone. That gives me a confidence that stock market should go down, should go up tomorrow, because dollar should sell off, and gold and stock market will pump with that. So I think I'm very bullish on equity sector right now. Bitcoin again on the support area, nothing changed here, just holding here, and this is where you want to buy, right on the support area here. It broke this trend line and right on the support now. So let's see how Bitcoin handles, and I think we might have to make a new trend line now. Let's see if I can make a trend line like this now, right? You try to make something like this. Let's see if we can do something better. Just trying to make something, cannot really make a clean trend line, but we can make something like this, okay? We can make something like this, and we can see if Bitcoin can hold this trend line now. Ethereum, again, multiple resistance here. It was in this channel, so I can delete this channel now. Now it's on the support here. And again with Ethereum, are we able to make something? Let's see. We can try to force a trend line, but I'm not sure if we can make a clean trend line, but let's see if we can do it. Ethereum, something like this. Maybe we can force a trend line, something like this, okay? Not a cleaner trend line, but maybe something like this, just for the sake of, you can see reaction here, a couple of reactions here, and now this could be another reaction. So anyhow, what I'm trying to say is this is on the support line, and this is where you want to buy Ethereum. And let's see, commodities, copper, little bit of dip today, but it can come down to the buy zone, but it's by the dip. Look to buy any dips. Palladium, again, bullish falling wedge with higher momentum on PPO and RSI, and you can see what I meant by higher momentum. I can draw an arrow. You can see this is higher momentum. You can see new lows with higher PPO on daily, higher RSI. We broke out, back tested once, again came back on the support, now again trying to come back on support, so nothing changed. Palladium is consolidating. This is like looks like a bottom forming pattern here. Wheat, same thing. You can see same thing, same concept, all commodities going lower. You can see divergences on PPO and RSI. You can see higher momentum on PPO. Same thing on RSI. You can see here new lows with higher momentum, broke out, back test, broke out, again came for a back test, and now we're just consolidating. Con are struggling to go above, but you can see new lows with higher momentum on PPO and RSI, so I think that's telling me we're ready for a breakout. It's going to be an impulsive breakout anytime. Soybeans is in the buy zone here. This is where you want to buy soybeans. Sugar, again, this is where it's on this trend line, so I'm going to get rid of this previous trend line now. So sugar is right here. There's this little bit of resistance here, but it's holding this trend line very nicely. And let's quickly look at all the tech stocks, all the sectors first. XLE by the dip, you can see massive sell-off, but XLE, let's try to get some moving averages in. You can see how nicely SLE right on this 3 EMA. So you can see look to buy the dip on XLE. This is energy sector. Sorry, that was XLK, my bad. But yeah, this is tech sector. So looking for a gap to fill later on. XLE, this is XLE. By the dip, there's also a gap. It can come as low as here, okay, and then it can go higher. Just be mindful of that. XLV very nicely closed this gap. If I hide these lines, you can see here this 1 hour gap is closed, so you can see nicely. Oh no, still not closed. Little bit of left, very little is left. So tomorrow maybe will come down, close this gap, and then go higher. XLU consolidating, you can see broke this trend line, just consolidating, and then it's going to pump. So this is a good time to buy XLU. Utility sectors, industrial, let me hide this. Industrial is also just consolidating, multiple gaps on the top, so I think it's going to be going there soon. XLF, you can XLRE, real estate, support, right on the support and getting ready for a pump. Financials down, there's a gap here, so I'm not sure if it's going to come all the way down and then go higher, or it's going to go directly higher. We have to go and figure it out later on. KRE, regional bank ETF, surprisingly it's green, very surprising, but there's also a gap, so maybe it will come back tomorrow down to fill this gap before it goes higher. Let's look at big tech stock, Tesla. You can see here right on support, and it broke out, and then basically sold off, again recovered, again sold off, so slightly below trend line. So that's not, I'm not going to be bearish. The only thing is there's a gap here, so I'm not sure if they want to bring all the way Tesla down to fill this gap before it go higher again. That needs to be watched. But we'll see. There's also multiple gaps on the top side. You can see also this earnings gap is here, so don't be too bearish. Netflix, if I go to daily chart, same thing, right on this support trend line. You can see very nicely it's holding this trend line, yeah, and again sold off right on this trend line. And there was a gap which was there before. They closed that gap. So Netflix is right on support. Google is also right on support. Little bit of gap left, so maybe we'll sell off in the morning and then go higher. Microsoft again came back on the trend line, on top of trend line, then sold off. This could be a fake out move. I think we're getting ready for a pump. Meta, Facebook, again, looks like we are making a secondary trend line, so I have to try to figure out later on. We'll try to make another trend line, but it broke this trend line and now it's trying to make another trend line, I think it looks like. So if I go to 1 hour chart, we can see it can maybe try to make something else, maybe another trend line. We'll see. Probably we're gonna we need some more data for this, so for now I'm gonna get rid of this, okay? But there's a gap here, and there's a bigger gap here. I don't think that's gonna fill until earnings, but so far looking good. Apple, multiple gaps were there, so it filled the gap, so that's a good news. Gap was here created a couple of days ago, very good. It filled the gap, so this could be a higher low before we go higher. So be very careful. Don't be too bearish on Apple, okay? This is your chance to buy all the stocks. Amazon breaking below this trend line. Not that impulsive breakdown, but still it's a breakdown. So I would like to see Amazon recover for it to be bullish again. There are multiple gaps at the top. Snowflakes after earnings down massive, 5.16% green earnings, but looks like the future guidance might be bad, but it was up, sold off heavily. The good thing is it's closed this gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, this gap was here. It came, okay, sorry, no, the bottom gap is closed. So there was this gap, which was gap up. It came and closed this gap. So there's no gap to the downside. All the gaps are to the upside. So Snowflakes is looking pretty solid here. NVDA after earnings sold off, so there was a gap up. It covered this gap. There's another gap here. I'm not sure if it's gonna come there to buy to sell off all the way down to fill this gap, but earnings are good. You can see massive profits here. So this was profit taking, but there's no reason for to be bearish on NVIDIA yet. AMD broke this trend line. You can see impulsive breakdown. And let's go to 1 hour chart. Is there any divergence? A little bit of divergence on PPO. You can see lower low on higher momentum on PPO and RSI. But AMD, now wait for it to go above this trend line to be bullish again. But there are no gaps to the top side. We'll see how it goes. Toronto Stock Exchange just consolidating before next pump higher. Hang Seng Index 1 hour chart, you can see what's happening here. We bullish falling wedge broke out, and now we're just consolidating here. So I think we're forming another trend line. You can see if you want to draw a trend line like this, it could be forming another trend line here. Okay, so just keep an eye on that. And let's quickly look at zones for tomorrow. Shopify, let's quickly look at Shopify. Was down 2.24%. There's also a gap here, so I don't know, is it going to come all the way down to fill this gap before we go higher? We will figure it out. And let's quickly look at zones for tomorrow, and then let's see where are we now as of now. So let's quickly look at zones. Let me bring this indicator down so you can see S&P 500 in the buy zone here. Nasdaq is in the buy zone, US 30 in the buy zone, all the indexes are in the buy zone, and triple Qs, let me get extended hours back. You can see triple Qs in the buy zone here. Gold in the middle neutral zone, so no advantage to bulls or bears. Silver in the neutral zone, natural gas. Looking for it to sell off between 2.54 and below. That will be a great time to buy silver again. Crude oil near sell zone, so consolidating right now. Dollar, the good news is dollar is in the sell zone, so that means dollar will come down tomorrow, and then that will bring gold and all the tech sector up. Bitcoin is clear near buy zone. If it falls below 26,032, look to buy. Ethereum also in the middle consolidating. Tesla in the buy zone below 228.36. Netflix in the buy zone. Google in the buy zone, came very close to filling this gap, still not filled. We'll see tomorrow if that fills. Microsoft in the buy zone, Meta, all the tech sectors in the buy zone. Apple is in the buy zone, Amazon in the buy zone, Snowflakes in the buy zone, NVDA cutting closer to buy zone, and AMD always in the buy zone, and Toronto Stock Exchange near buy zone, Hang Seng Index, live market in the neutral zone, copper near buy zone, palladium near buy zone, wheat in the neutral zone, corn in the neutral zone, soya beans near sell zone, and sugar near sell zone. Let's look at gold miners, gold GDX near sell zone, and the Newmont mine near sell zone. That's what I was telling you, gold miners should be looking to take profits. We were here, you can see it gave us a lot of time. We were here in the buy zone, and it was time to take profits, and still near sell zone. So I'm not too bullish on gold miners right now. I'm bullish on tech sector. So XLK in the buy zone, you can see XLE in the buy zone. Healthcare is in the buy zone. XLU in the neutral zone, XLI in the buy zone, XLRE real estate in the neutral zone, financials in the neutral zone. KRE regional bank ETF near neutral zone. Shopify in the neutral zone as well. Let's look at other stuff. UNH, other stocks in the buy zone. ABBV in the buy zone. CVS near buy zone. Pfizer is in the buy zone. Let's look at what else sold heavily today. Intel 4% down buy zone. ARKK in the buy zone. PayPal in the neutral zone, CRM in the buy zone, IBM sell zone, Cisco in neutral zone, Disney in the buy zone, UPS in the buy zone, McDonald's neutral zone, Home Depot in the buy zone, Nike in the buy zone, Honeywell in the buy zone, Boeing in the buy zone, MasterCard in the neutral zone, Verizon neutral zone, PG neutral zone, Starbucks in the buy zone, Uber neutral zone, and telecom sectors are probably in the buy zone. They have massive pump today. Bell is also massive pump, not sure why. Costco in the buy zone, Walmart in the buy zone, in the neutral zone, near buy zone. Coca-Cola not in the buy zone, BRK in the neutral zone, UNH in the buy zone, ABBV in the buy zone. Already covered these before. Let's look at China, MCH China neutral zone, Baba in the neutral zone, Baidu in the sell zone. And let's look at Canadian stock, Dollarama neutral zone. And let's look at banks, BMO in the buy zone, and Royal Bank in the neutral zone. TD 3% down in the buy zone after earnings. BNS in the neutral zone. CM in the neutral zone. National Bank near buy zone. Let's look at American banks. JP Morgan near neutral zone. Citigroup in the buy zone. Goldman Sachs in the buy zone. Bank of America in the neutral zone. CP in the near buy zone. CNQ in the buy zone. XOM in the buy zone. Enbridge is also in the buy zone. Let's look at some growth stocks. Lucid in the buy zone. NEO buy zone. Nikola in the buy zone. Riot in the buy zone. Square in the buy zone. TTD near buy zone. SE in the buy zone. AEHR in the buy zone. Plug in the buy zone. Palantir down 7% in the buy zone. Target above buy zone. Zoom is in the above buy zone as well. And then somebody wanted to check Nifty. This is Indian stock, still a bit away from the buy zone, below 19,302. It's looking good. So hopefully this is helpful, guys, and please hit the like button on your way out. Take care. Bye.